Hello folks, Pastor Rocky Branch. Hope you're doing great today. I've been gone a few days, of course, so I've not been able to put any videos online. And I hope you're doing well. I've been praying for you, and thank you for watching. When you do that, that's a blessing to me. Thank you for commenting also, because I really enjoy hearing from you, and also receiving prayer requests that I can certainly join you in prayer about. You know, prayer is such an important thing. In our churches today, it's almost a lost cause. You know, years ago, prayer meetings were a little bit different than they are now. I remember, in fact, when I first started preaching, I preached all over the country, I'm telling you. I'd go to little churches and I'd go to large churches. Many of the smaller churches up in the mountains of North Carolina, up along 7 Mile Ridge and up in Beuladine and Red Hill, and some of those places over in the mountains of Tennessee. I mean, just all over the place. I remember the men distinctly before the services in several of the places would go outside and have a prayer meeting, maybe down by the river, down by the creek or something by the church. I remember one occasion especially that where men had gathered together outside and they were going to walk down to the creek to pray. And on the way down, each of the men started picking up a rock, just a single rock. I wondered what was going on, and I watched carefully. When we got down to the creek, one of the men that led the prayer group said, "Fellows, these rocks are our prayer requests for the meeting that we're having and for the personal things that we're facing." And as they took that rock, they cast it into the creek. I immediately picked up a stone. I didn't know what they were doing. And I said my prayer concerning that rock and released it into the water. I'm excited about what God is doing through prayer, and He wants to bless you. But you know, prayer is fought so much. Every time you get ready to pray, something happens. But you know, prayer is a communication between you and God. Now listen carefully. If you are talking to someone, perhaps in a store, perhaps on your porch, perhaps on the telephone, maybe in church, in the vestibule, or out in the parking lot. If you're talking to someone and someone walks up and interrupts you, they have disturbed your conversation flow. That's a lot like prayer. You know, prayer is very important. When you're talking to God, you don't need any interruptions. A lot of things come into our lives that pull us to the side. Let me encourage you that when you take that time to pray, dedicate that time to God. Don't let anything interrupt it. Well, of course, we can't stop everything from coming, but I think you know what I mean. You know, when two people are talking, it's kind of you to wait till they get through and then speak your mind or give your suggestion. With God, it's important to speak to Him. It's critical to listen to Him. Beloved, I cannot do that unless I get alone and get still. So many things are pulling us right and left. Let us get by ourselves and spend some time with God. You see, prayer is the key to the kingdom. Let me remind you of something, and I want you to hear me well. In fact, if you're listening, say amen. I want you to listen well. D.L. Moody, Charles Spurgeon, R.G. Lee, Adrian Rogers, Billy Graham, Jerry Falwell, Leonard Ravenhill, Charles Finney, whoever they may be, no one has ever had a bigger Bible than you have. No one has had more information in the Bible than you have. It's what they have done with it. Let me encourage you, not only read the book, but do the book. Jesus went by Himself to pray. If He did that, how much more should we do that? Don't let the conversation between you and God be interrupted. Take that to be a precious and a private time, and God will bless you for it. You take care of yourself. God bless you. We love you, and goodbye.